Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that, well, on the surface, might seem a bit counterintuitive: the remarkable resilience of the property market in Phuket. That's pronounced Phuket, by the way. Our mission, like always, is to really understand why. Why does this market consistently bounce back from some pretty significant challenges? We're going to try and extract the most important nuggets of knowledge for you, our listener, straight from the source. And our main guide today, it's an insightful article from Ocean Worldwide. They're a luxury real estate agency, and importantly, they've been based right there in Phuket since way back in 2004. The article itself was written by Gail Avidadekian, who heads up marketing for them. And it's worth mentioning, Ocean Worldwide's director, Sandra O'Neill, she's got years of experience helping, well, thousands of families and investors, specifically focusing on that luxury residential real estate in places like Phuket and Koh Samui. So they know their stuff.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here, I think, beyond just the glamour of a luxury market, is exactly that resilience you mentioned. Understanding how a market consistently proves it can withstand shocks and recover, well, that offers incredibly valuable insights. Whether you're maybe thinking about an investment or perhaps exploring relocation, or even if you're just, curious about global economic patterns, it's really about spotting those deep underlying strengths, the things that exist beyond just the day-to-day surface level ups and downs. It suggests a real intrinsic value.
I completely agree. So let's start right there with that foundation, Phuket's unique and enduring appeal. What actually is it about this island that makes it so desirable? Why do people keep coming back, even after a crisis?
Well, it's multifaceted, definitely. But I think at its heart is that quintessential island paradise status, right?
Yeah.
You immediately picture those, white sandy beaches, the clear blue waters, those lush green
The
hills.
postcard image. It's exactly the classic postcard. And it's not just a marketing thing. That image is a massive draw for high-end tourism and increasingly for people looking to actually live there permanently. This natural beauty, this sort of ingrained idea of a tropical haven, it creates a really robust fundamental foundation for the property market. It kind of allows it to withstand those external shocks and bounce back so consistently because the desire, the pull to be there, it just stays constant.
So it's a lifestyle choice,
Yeah.
really, as much as it is an investment opportunity.
Yeah.
But is it just about the beaches? Does the article dig deeper into Phuket's allure? Oh, absolutely not just beaches, no. The source highlights a really diverse range of lifestyle offerings. It's quite impressive. You've got everything from, thrilling water sports, diving, sailing, to rich cultural experiences like temples, markets, festivals. And then there's the sophisticated side: fine dining, lively nightlife, and a growing number, actually, of health and wellness retreats. This diversity is really crucial. It means Phuket isn't just relying on one type of tourist or resident. By appealing to young families, digital nomads, retirees, adventurers, well, it creates a much broader and inherently more stable demand base. It's market diversification in action, really.
Interesting. And beyond what's actually on the island, its strategic location seems like another key piece of the puzzle.
It truly is. Phuket is remarkably accessible. You've got direct flights connecting it to major international hubs all over the world. This makes it incredibly convenient for holidaymakers, obviously, but it's equally practical for residents who might need to travel for work or just leisure. Plus, it acts as a kind of natural gateway to other beautiful islands and destinations across Southeast Asia. Being so well connected isn't just about tourism numbers. It makes Phuket a real pivotal hub in the region, and that adds significant value for both residents and investors.
Okay, so we've established why it's so appealing. The desire is there. But, as any savvy investor knows, beauty alone doesn't guarantee stability. What's Phuket's actual track record when it comes to weathering economic storms? Because let's face it, it hasn't always been smooth sailing over the years.
Right, that's a crucial point.
Right.
Because what's really remarkable isn't just the appeal, it's the proven track record of bouncing back, its resilience.
Yeah.
The article specifically points to major past economic downturns. You got the Asian financial crisis back in '97, the global recession in 2008, and of course the very recent COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, big hits.
Huge hits.
Hmm.
And each one definitely caused a slowdown in property sales, investment stalled, projects got put on hold. There was a general sense of uncertainty. But the key takeaway, looking at those recovery patterns, is Phuket's proven market elasticity. It just snaps back, often faster and stronger than before. And that indicates, deep resilient demand rather than just speculative bubbles popping.
That's fascinating. The numbers in the article really illustrate this quite clearly. For the Asian financial crisis, 1997, there was about a 30% price drop, roughly, but recovery took, what, about 3 to 4 years?
Hmm.
Then global recession, 2008, prices dipped maybe 20%, recovery happened quicker, maybe 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, faster.
And then COVID, 2020, a significant drop again, around 25%, but the recovery was remarkably swift within just 1 to 2 years. So, what does this consistent pattern, this often accelerated recovery, what does that tell you, the listener, about the long term investment potential here?
Well, it tells us that while these external shocks can cause temporary dips, absolutely, the underlying demand and the intrinsic value of Phuket property are strong enough to pull it back quickly. It suggests a market that actually learns and adapts over time, becoming more robust, which,
Hmm.
makes it a very appealing long-term investment destination precisely because its dips often seem shorter and its rebounds stronger.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me, how the tourism sector directly props up this property market. It's not just about lots of visitors, it's how that translates into actual tangible demand for real estate.
Oh, it's the engine. It really is.
Oh.
Phuket's robust tourism industry provides such a solid foundation for growth and resilience. The numbers are pretty astounding when you look at them. The article mentions 8 million visitors in 2022,
Okay.
jumping to 11 million in 2023, then 13 million in 2024,
Wow.
and they're projecting 15 million for 2025.
15 million.
Yeah. This constant flow, this huge volume of tourists, it translates directly into demand for accommodation, whether that's hotel rooms or, crucially, rental villas and apartments. And that, in turn, supports rental yields and overall property values.
And the article specifically points out the growing luxury tourism segment. How does the rise of these high-end hotels and villas impact the broader property market? It's not just catering to the super rich, right?
And not entirely, no. It certainly pushes up property values in prime areas, that's true. And it creates significant demand for premium rentals. But that effect kind of elevates the entire market. This trend ensures there's consistent demand for accommodation, whether it's short-term stays or people looking for longer-term holiday homes. And this translates directly into generally good rental yields for property owners. A rental yield, just quickly for anyone unfamiliar, is basically your annual income from rent as a percentage of the property's purchase price.
Ah.
It's a key metric for investors. And thanks to high occupancy rates, especially during peak season, plus a diverse range of rental options, Phuket offers a very favorable environment for generating rental income.
Okay, so the tourism numbers are strong, the engine is running. But what about the strategic sort of long-term vision? How do government initiatives play into strengthening this market further?
Yeah, that raises an important question about the long-term impact of these strategic investments. And the outlook seems positive. Phuket's future is looking brighter, partly because of some serious government investment in enhanced connectivity. We're talking expanded airport capacity, significantly improved roads, and there are even discussions about potential light rail systems.
Light rail. Interesting.
Yeah, these projects aren't just about making travel nicer. They're about significantly boosting the economy and making Phuket an even more attractive place to actually live and invest. I mean, the easier it is to get to and get around the island, the more people will want to visit and stay, which directly benefits property values.
And it seems there's also a strong push for sustainable development goals, not just growth at any cost.
Exactly. That's becoming increasingly important. The local authorities are actively working to balance that growth with environmental protection. This includes investing in things like renewable energy, improving waste management, which is a huge challenge for islands, and preserving natural habitats. These initiatives are crucial for the long-term health and, frankly, the enduring appeal of the island, ensuring it stays beautiful for generations. The article also mentions something interesting. The Treasury Department partnering with Krung Thai Bank and the Government Housing Bank to integrate land appraisal data.
Okay, that sounds a bit technical. Why is that important?
It might sound like bureaucratic detail, but it's actually pretty crucial. By streamlining how land is appraised, making it more standardized and transparent, they're essentially reducing risk for investors and speeding up transactions. It fosters a more transparent and efficient market overall, less guesswork involved.
I see. That's a significant move towards transparency, yeah. And this leads nicely into the government's active support for foreign investment. What are they actually doing to make it easier for international buyers?
Well, they seem to be implementing various incentives and policies specifically designed to make it easier for foreigners to buy property and even start businesses there. This includes things like streamlining visa applications, which can be a headache elsewhere, offering potential tax breaks for certain types of investments, and providing support services for foreign investors navigating the system. This commitment is a big deal for the Phuket property market. It signals the government's confidence in the island's future, and it makes it a more competitive destination for international capital. It's kind of a win-win, driving economic growth and creating local jobs.
Okay, so we've got the appeal, the resilience, the tourism engine, government support. But Phuket's property scene itself isn't standing still, is it? The article suggests it's constantly evolving. It's not just the same old villas and condos anymore.
No, definitely not. And this shift signifies, I think, a crucial evolution, a sign of market maturity. So what does this all mean? Well, developers are branching out. We're seeing co-living spaces pop up, boutique hotels, service departments designed for longer stays. They're catering specifically to groups like digital nomads, retirees, people seeking more flexibility and convenience than a standard hotel or villa might offer.
So, more variety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just about variety, though. It's about market diversification. By appealing to families, retirees, adventurers, digital nomads, Phuket isn't reliant on just one demographic. That makes it inherently more stable when travel trends shift. And alongside this, there's also a growing residential demand. More and more people are actually choosing to make Phuket their permanent home, not just a holiday spot.
Right, not just transient visitors.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that drives demand for family-sized properties, pushes focus towards quality of life factors like good schools, healthcare, a sense of community. It really signals that shift from being purely a tourist destination to becoming a place where people genuinely want to live, work, and invest long-term.
And it's worth noting, though, that while these new types are emerging, the traditional luxury villa market is still incredibly strong, according to the article. What does that tell us about the high end?
It tells us there's a continued strong appetite for high-end properties, and that comes from both international buyers and wealthy Thai buyers, too. They often view these properties not just as holiday homes, but as serious investments and, let's be honest, status symbols, too. That demand doesn't seem to be slowing down much. And crucially, tied into this, local developers in Phuket are showing incredible adaptability. They're not stuck in the past.
How so?
Well, they're embracing innovative project designs, modern villas, eco-friendly features, using sustainable materials more often. They understand that's what the market, especially the luxury market, increasingly wants. They're also remarkably responsive to market shifts. During downturns, they seem to quickly adjust their focus, maybe targeting long-term residents more or trying new marketing strategies. This flexibility means less market stagnation during the tougher times.
And their commitment to quality construction is also highlighted as paramount. How does that impact property value?
Oh, hugely. It builds trust, it builds reputation, which is just vital for long-term market stability. Developers there seem to understand that cutting corners isn't really an option in such a competitive, high-profile market.
Yeah.
They focus on using good materials, hiring skilled workers, paying attention to the details to build homes that last. And this dedication to quality has a direct, measurable impact on value. The article suggests high quality can add maybe 20% to the value, medium quality perhaps 10%,
Wow.
while low quality can actually decrease it by around 15%. It's not just about looking good, it's about safeguarding the long-term asset value for the owner.
That adaptability, coupled with quality focus, sounds like a huge factor in the market's resilience. Okay, let's shift slightly to talk about foreign investor confidence and that robust rental market again. Why do foreign investors keep choosing Phuket?
Well, fundamentally, it offers a pretty attractive investment climate overall. You've got the Thai government's efforts to ease investment, which we mentioned,
Right.
combined with well-established infrastructure, roads, airport, internet, and a, generally speaking, reasonable cost of living compared to many places they might be coming from. Now, are there legal hoops to jump through when buying properties of foreigner? Yes, absolutely. But the ease of property acquisition is considered manageable. There are reputable professionals, like the team at Ocean Worldwide, who can guide buyers through that process. And what's fascinating here, I think, is how those combined factors, the relatively accessible investment process and the strong rental returns, make Phuket such an appealing long-term asset. Owning property there isn't just about having a nice holiday home, although that's great. It's also about investing in your future with real potential for capital appreciation, the value going up over time, and those consistent rental income opportunities we talked about.
Yeah, let's talk numbers on the rental market again. The dynamics seem very strong. Can you give us a feel for occupancy rates?
Sure. Phuket generally enjoys really high occupancy rates, especially during the peak season, think Christmas, New Year, European winter months. That can range anywhere from 80% up to 95%.
That's very high.
It is. Even during the shoulder seasons, the months just before or after peak, it's still strong, maybe 60, 75%. And even the low season holds up reasonably well, often around 40–60%. That provides a powerful safety net for investors, ensuring pretty consistent income generation throughout the year. You get those seasonal rental peaks like Christmas, New Year, Chinese New Year, where rates can really skyrocket, offering excellent short-term returns. But even outside those peaks, that mix of short-term holiday rentals and longer-term leases, perhaps to expats or locals, provides a fairly steady income stream. It makes owning property much more manageable financially.
And speaking of expats, that leads us nicely to the growing expatriate community. It seems to be a really significant, maybe sometimes overlooked driver for both lifestyle and the economy.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, that growing expat community is absolutely a vital part of Phuket's social and economic fabric now. And it's not just retirees anymore, which might have been the stereotype years ago. Now you see young professionals, families with kids, entrepreneurs, all choosing Phuket as a base. This influx brings a diverse range of skills, perspectives, and frankly, spending power, enriching the local community and the economy.
And what draws them? What are the tangible quality of life
Or
factors?
you've got the obvious ones.
Yeah.
The tropical climate year-round,
Okay.
a generally lower cost of living compared to many Western countries, but also significantly improving healthcare with international standard hospitals and clinics, a good choice of international schools for families.
Important for families, yeah.
Absolutely. Plus that more relaxed pace of life, the beautiful surroundings, and a growing sense of an international community, those are huge draws too. And this growing expat community, in turn, fuels strong demand for long-term rentals. Many prefer to rent for a while before or instead of committing to buying. So that keeps the rental market buoyant, provides consistent income for property owners, and just adds to the island's overall diversity, driving demand across various sectors, restaurants, shops, services, you name it. So what does this all mean when we put it all together for you, the listener? How do all these pieces fit?
Well, I think the big picture takeaways are pretty clear now. Phuket's property market seems to consistently bounce back because of this combination of factors. You've got its unique, enduring appeal, that paradise factor, its impressive historical resilience against major economic shocks, a really robust tourism sector acting as a constant engine. Then there's strong government support and ongoing infrastructure investment, significant market diversification with adaptable, quality-focused developers, consistent foreign investor confidence fueled by those attractive potential returns, and finally, that thriving, growing expat community, adding to both demand and the island's vibrant social fabric. So for you, the listener, I guess it means understanding these deep, interconnected layers that make a market robust. It's not just about focusing on, fleeting headlines or surface-level price changes.
It's exactly right. The core lesson here, maybe, is that knowledge is most valuable when it's truly understood and can be applied. The underlying factors driving Phuket's market, the ones we've unpacked today from that Ocean Worldwide article, they offer a really compelling case study in economic resilience. It's about recognizing how multiple elements can converge, the natural beauty, the tourism, the investment, the community, to create a truly durable market, even a high-end luxury one.
Absolutely. And with all these strengths laid out, it kind of begs a final provocative thought for you to mull over. Considering Phuket's remarkable ability to adapt and bounce back time and again, what might be the next big challenge the island has to face? Over-tourism, maybe? Environmental pressures? Something else entirely? And perhaps more importantly, how might its inherent resilience, the strengths we've discussed, allow it to evolve and adapt again in the coming decades? Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today.